They're so proud of me, so proud of me. They're so proud of me.
Cagebreakers, we out here. It's the Cagebreakers show. Not everybody's an athlete, but you can learn a lot from an athlete. And today I have a special guest, a young man who's just a true pioneer, a true trailblazer, somebody who just doesn't say much. They let their actions speak. Somebody who works hard, um, you know, came from the bottom and is still climbing, and somebody I'm just happy to see this young man do the amazing things that he's doing, and we're happy to have him on the show. So with no further ado, we have Mr. Kole Taylor. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Of course.
For the people who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm from Grand Junction, Colorado, which is on the western slope of Colorado. Um, it's not a very big town. I think my graduating class had about 500 people in it, maybe a little less than. We had about 100 people total on our football team. And I came from there, and I kind of through high school I was able to get opportunities playing college football, and I took an opportunity to come play down at LSU, and I've been here for I just finished up my second season actually this January. I'm going on to my third season next year, and I plan on having a good off season and just doing everything right.
For sure, for sure. Talk to us about what it was like going from Grand Junction to LSU.
Yeah, I mean in Grand Junction, there's not a lot of people that um, really even that have the desire to go play college sports, let alone actually being able to do it. We're kind of limited over there. Everyone kind of, whenever recruiting coaches come into the area, they're going to Denver because they're going to be able to see 60, 70 kids in 1 or 2 days. But if they come over to Colorado, or Grand Junction, they're going to see maybe one or two that even have like a chance to play there every couple of years. So they don't really spend time over in the Western Slope, which is actually a shame because there are a lot of good players. Um, I was actually fortunate enough to start working out in Denver and playing on some 7-on-7 teams in Denver, and that's kind of the bridge that I took to get to LSU. And I just kind of throughout the recruiting process, I just kept saying like I need to go somewhere where I am going to be wanted and I'm going to be needed, and that's kind of what LSU was for me. So that's kind of where um, it brought me, and ever since then, I haven't looked back.
For sure. When was that moment, even going back to where you were like, this game of football can take me places? Like, again, you coming from under the radar, Grand Junction. Um, what was when was that moment where you were like, yeah, football can this is gonna take me places?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know that I was going to play college football until after my junior season. Some kids, get their offers earlier. Like the quarterback that was here at LSU, I roomed with him my first year, and he said he'd been committed since freshman year. And so I was like, that's crazy, dude. I didn't even know I was going to be playing college football my freshman year. That wasn't even on my radar. Um, so I think, after I got my first offer, I was offered by CU. And that was when it really hit. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play somewhere. Before that, I had no clue whether I was gonna try to go JUCO, try to go D2, and then work my way up, or what my route was. But then once I got that CU offer, it kind of set in like, yeah, I got a chance to play somewhere big.
For sure, for sure. So would you call yourself like a late bloomer?
Yeah, definitely, and that's kind of how I've been all growing up. I mean, I've always been tall, but I never really kind of came into my body until sophomore, junior year, and junior year is when I really kind of started to feel good. And honestly, like even into my second year of college, I still feel like I'm growing into my body and just developing more and more. And as far as like recruiting, I know kids that have been offered, and I mean, you see kids that are like get fifth grade getting offers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but like that's a whole nother story. But
Yeah.
um, I mean, it's never too late. Whether you do the whole like JUCO thing, and then go into college, or whether you're getting your first offers, when you're in fifth grade. It's never too late, and your story's not over until you stop writing it.
That's facts, and that's true. Everybody has a different story. You just got to keep going.
Exactly.
When did everything kind of pick up for you? I know you got the CU offer, and it was like, okay, cool, I can play this. But when was it
Mhm.
like everybody just came and started?
So actually, I got my CU offer. I think it was January 31st of 2019, and after that, everything just started rolling. Like the next day, I think I got Missouri, and then the next day I got Arkansas, Cal, and one other I can't remember. But like college recruiting's it's different because like once you get one, the other schools are like, oh, I mean, they're offering him. I need to look at him. I need to see why they're offering him. If they want him, I'm probably gonna want him. And then I started kind of getting bigger offers like Michigan and LSU and Penn State. That was more down the road. Um, but those like CU, all the local ones that were kind of close, they started and it just snowballed from there.
Why? What was it? Because we're looking at even now, LSU represents greatness.
Yep.
Like you have to be great to go to LSU. What was it that made you want to accept the challenge and choose LSU?
I mean, that's just what it is. LSU's got the history behind it. 2019, before I committed before they even won a national championship. But I mean, that stacks on to LSU's greatness, and I just felt like this is one of the best roads that I can have to the NFL. And if I want to be the great player that I feel and know that I can be, I need to be coming and playing at this top level of a school. So that was kind of my thinking going into it, and that was what led me here.
No, facts. Do you have like is there somebody, I know you probably have a few, but like that coach or that mentor that pushed you and motivated you? Do you have anybody like that?
I mean, it was really my dad. Um, my whole family supported me, my brother, my sister, my mom. But my dad was the one that really wanted it for me. My dad was the one that um, was asking me every day, what did you do today to get better? Yeah, I know you went and lifted, but everyone in the nation's doing that. So what did you do to put yourself on top of everyone else? So that was kind of where that drive came for me, was just him kind of always, biting down my heels, just asking me what I'm doing. Do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? And
Yeah,
so that was huge. My whole family though was there throughout the whole process, and I wouldn't be here without them.
facts. And I'm gonna build off that too, off of what your father always asks you, like, what to you, like, how do you separate yourself?
Yeah.
Again, small town. You come from a small town under the radar to nationally one of the
Mhm.
best tight ends in the nation. How do you separate yourself? What goes into that?
I was obviously blessed with having the ability, like the height, but just height alone wasn't what was going to get me there. So I felt like I think in Grand Junction there's kind of a stigma of like, oh, you're going to be in Grand Junction, you might go to college, in Colorado somewhere, you might stay here, go to Mesa State, you might just work out of college, but nobody really wanted to separate themselves. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it here, so I got to go to Denver. I got to get some support from Denver. I went and worked out at 60, which is Matt McChesney's gym. I worked out with him a bunch. I went and did 7-on-7 teams. I played for two 7-on-7 teams. Um, I, I was just doing everything extra that I could. I Nobody in the town was driving over to Denver every weekend.
Oh, you was driving to Denver from Grand Junction?
Yeah, there was a time there, yeah, right after season, and it was in the winter, so it was hard to get up there. I-70 is not easy crossing the mountain there, but there was a time there where I was going up 6, 7 weekends in a row just to get an hour and a half workout. And that's really what separated me was I was going 4 hours there, 4 hours back, 8 hours round trip, just to get an hour and a half workout in because there was a chance that somebody might be watching that. So that was that was kind of where I came from, and that goes back to the sport. My dad went up with me every weekend. My mom took me. My sister was there. My brother was there. So it was something like I knew I had to separate myself, and I knew I wasn't going to do it just sitting around on the weekends. Maybe going to lift, maybe going to throw.
Man, I'm over here getting chills because people see the LSU and people see, the Instagram nationally televised games, but nobody sees that.
Yeah, no,
And and Matt McChesney, like working with Matt McChesney, this is what I need to know. He is going to push you.
he is, and he's going to yell at you, and he's not going to care who you are. He doesn't care whether you're an NFL vet or you're a first year football player. He's not going to care. He's going to push you as hard as you can, and he's going to get you, to your full ability.
And the reason why I bring that up is because you have people who live probably 10 minutes away from 6-0 Academy's facility who might make an excuse not to go. You're driving 4 hours.
Yeah, no, it was tough, and but it was a sacrifice that we needed to make. I felt that that's what I needed to do, and so that's what I did every weekend, and obviously it paid out in the long run.
Man, it did it, and like I said, you're still going, you're still grinding, but man, thank you for sharing that because that's powerful. People don't understand the sacrifice and really going to get your goals. Everybody's entitled in a sense, like, oh, why not? You really are the definition of go get it.
Yeah.
For real. So, man, I want to ask you, is there like a quote or like a mantra that you live by?
A quote or a mantra that I live by. I honestly just think like you've never lost until you quit. Like you could keep going and keep going. You won't lose until you put down the sword and just quit. So that's kind of what I've been going by. Like I, I we have workouts here, and like we do much fourth quarter stuff, and it's harder than anyone ever sees or does. And they keep saying like, "Don't quit, don't quit, don't quit," and that's what you do. You keep pushing, and you're gonna get through it. Like in the end, after you get through it, that's you feel better than you ever have. And a lot of people just quit halfway through, and they don't get to that end result. Like you never know how strong you really are until you push up to your limits.
Thanks. My man dropping jewels. I want to ask you, going from, again, making the jump from, what do we want to call it? I guess we'll call it Chassa. Going from Chassa to the SEC, what was one of the biggest adjustments that you had to make?
Yeah, honestly, it's not just football here. Like you got school, football, you got team dinners, you got lifts. So I think the biggest adjustment was just time management. I wake up in the morning, I got lifts at 7 a.m., so I got to wake up at 6, be there at 7. I got tutoring at 9. I got class from 11 or from 10 to 1, and then we got team meeting at 1:30, 1:30 to 6, and then you got to do your homework after. So it's really just time management. Everyone sees, Saturdays when we're playing, but not everyone sees us, at 6:30 when we're doing our homework and everything. And in high school, you can kind of get away with just getting by. But here, this is a full-time job. Like you're putting your all into this, and you're putting all your time into this, just to get by, So I think that was the biggest adjustment. Like as far as on the field, I think the speed was hard. It was hard to adjust to that. Senior year, obviously I had a fairly good senior year, and then I come here and I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. So I I had to adjust to that, and I had to realize, I'm just like all these guys. All these guys were highly recruited just like me. So I gotta, make my mark on my own. Nobody's here to help me. They all want their job. they're earning their scholarship every day. So just competitive edge is it's just different.
No, that's real. That is real. How did it? I know we never get satisfied or complacent, but
Yep.
what went into earning that starting job?
hmm So, um, my freshman year, I came here, um, and I had four guys in front of me. So I was pretty much fifth string. One of them got in trouble, so he got kicked off the team. Another one tore his ACL and then ended up transferring out. And then the other two were there the whole season. And I kind of just stayed in the back. I stayed ready. I wasn't slacking off in practice. I wasn't just, oh, these guys are going to play in the game, whatever. I was paying attention. I was taking mental reps when they were taking the first team reps and everything. And then Florida came, and one of the guys got popped for a drug test, so he was out. So then that moved me up, and then our other tight end ended up opting out of the last two games because he had some mental health issues. So then I was there. I was stepped into that role, and I felt ready for it, and I kind of took over, and I never really looked back from there. And the first game was an adjustment. It was hard. We played in Florida, so that was hard. I mean, Florida were top 10 team. You
Yeah,
know, um, so I mean that was it was a shock to me. It was surreal being able to play in that atmosphere and
yeah.
going and getting the win there. But it,
Legend.
it was it was really just staying ready. Like at no point was I like, oh, I'm the backup. I'm just gonna coast. The rest of the season's whatever. I'm
Mm,
write this season off. It was just staying ready. It was staying in the playbook. It was staying after practice, get extra catches in case my time did come, and it ended up coming. It worked out.
one of the key things you said was stay ready.
Yeah,
Stay ready. For everybody who's going to watch this, I need y'all to understand the importance of what he just said. You have to stay ready. You were getting mental reps.
yeah. I mean,
Study.
reps are limited in college. You come in, we have a team run period. There's 16 total reps, and there's five guys trying to get reps. And the coach has got a script out. You maybe get two or three reps, so you go in, take those two or three reps. And you make the most of those reps. But then when you're not taking reps, you got to be locked in, see what they're doing. What they did right, take that, use that. What they did wrong, be like, I do this, and then use that for your own game. And that's kind of where I was at, and that's kind of what I was doing.
Man. And I want you to do this. Talk to us about the importance of attitude,
Yeah,
because you said something that is so key, and you're wise. You're very wise. You said something so key. You said you weren't pouting.
yeah,
You were focused. You could have easily been pouting and looking like, oh, I'm the last man on the depth chart.
yeah.
But instead, you didn't have that mindset. You
No.
were patient. Talk to us about the importance of attitude in this game.
Yeah, I mean, my attitude's always been that, like, what's the point in pouting? That's not going to get you anywhere. What's going to get you somewhere, is working extra, is trying to take extra reps, is in the film room more. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm not going to sit back and just let whatever happens happens. I'm gonna go get what's mine. Like, you got to take that. And that's kind of always been my mindset. And there's people that are like, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. You don't deserve anything. Nothing's given to you. You got to go take it. So that's kind of been my mindset throughout this whole college experience and high school experience.
Man, that's I really hope young guys, even older guys, whoever's watching this, really take hold of that, because that is a life lesson, especially with the entitlement. So many people are entitled now.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and yeah.
no, that was one of the biggest things I learned here. You you don't like owes you anything. Like, these coaches, they don't owe you anything. they got their job. They're getting paid. They're going to coach you and everything, but they don't owe you that rep. They don't owe you playing time. Like, you got to go get that yourself, and you got to earn that.
Facts.
I think that's what a lot of people don't get these days. They're like, oh, this guy's getting this, so I need that. Like, I deserve that. I'm better than him. No, just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about what he's doing. He's getting his. Like, you got to go get yours.
No, that's definitely real, man. What has been? Let me see how I can ask this. Let me ask this. I'll ask this. This is like a two-part question, okay?
Yeah.
So, this is the Cagebreaker show. Do you feel you're a cage breaker? And if so, what cages have you broken out of? Like, what challenges, obstacles have?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You overcame.
Yeah, I mean, in my town, Grand Junction, one of the last persons to go D1 was one of my coaches, and that was 10, 15 years ago. So I kind of broke out of that cage of just like the normality of not making it, just of settling for whatever, life kind of brings you. And I kind of broke out of that, and I went and got it myself, and I earned this, and I've deserved the right to be here. So that's kind of just what I've done and how I've broken out of that cage. And I think that people in Grand Junction, even in Colorado in general, just have that normality of like, Colorado sports are all right. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be a decent player in Colorado, and I wanted to be better than that. And that's kind of the cage that I broke out of.
Facts. And did you have any? Yeah, first and foremost, I'm gonna say you definitely a cage breaker. Not everybody's going to, because what it means to be a cage breaker, and what I want people to understand is, it's a cage breaker is being capable of more than your environment is suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about, and breaking out of, you know what I mean, your limits, like not letting anybody put limits on you.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely, resemble that and embody that, especially coming from, again, what I want people to understand, you have Denver, which is already overlooked. Then you have northern Colorado, which like Fort Collins and all that, overlooked, produce great athletes. Southern Colorado, the Springs, and then you have like Grand Junction, Western Slopes, right? Super under the radar, but we produce great athletes. And so for you to dream big, but also to not let anything or anyone stop you from accomplishing your goals, that's huge, because you had you could have, and everybody been like, oh, it's cool. Just go to CU, just go to Mesa. Just go to Mesa. You good.
Yeah.
You good enough. But you like, no, I'm gonna work for more. And now you are in a place to where you open the door up for not only Colorado, but for the young kids to see, hey, this is possible if I put in the work.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, you got to put in the work. It's not just going to get given to you. And even when like I got here to LSU, people were like, "Oh, this kid's from Colorado," which like that made me so mad. I was like, there are good athletes in Colorado. There are dudes that can play. Like, trust me. And we got a bunch of players that are playing around the nation, and they're showing that. And so that frustrated me like right off the jump. So I kind of went in there with a little chip on my shoulder, like I got to put on for Colorado. I'm the first player ever here from Colorado. I can't give them a bad name, and I feel that I've done that, and I'm gonna keep doing that throughout the rest of my collegiate career.
Facts, and it's crazy you said that, because that's why I started. Like, it's hard for me. I really got to meet people first, for them to really know who I am. Like, Instagram is cool, but I'm like, really, for people to really understand what I do, I have to meet them. And like for so long, because when I played at CU, and even when I got to play, a little bit professionally, it was like that was the state. Like, oh, Colorado, y'all don't have anybody, and I would really fight for what's going on, like for us. You know what I mean? That's why I started the Colorado. I hate saying but that's why I started that for us.
Yeah,
because we are out here, and also to open the door, like you said, it's tons of other people that you know and you grew up with. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah,
quarterback is at K State.
exactly. Yeah, no, and there were 3 or 4 dudes probably on my team that could be playing somewhere, but they just didn't get the, opportunity, or they didn't take an opportunity to go, work out in Denver or whatever. And that's what frustrates me. Like I had um, I had around 25 to 30 offers coming out of or in high school, and um, I had maybe 5 or 6 coaches that came out and watched me like run nuts and everything. Didn't have a single coach come to one of my games. I'm talking to all these guys on my team, and they're like, "Yeah, Coach O was here, Coach O was there. Like, our OC was here, our OC was at this game." I was like, I never had a single coach come to my game. And so that was like, that's what frustrates me. Because like I know if they come to my game and they see another player ball out, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, we got to look at that kid too." And that's kind of it's frustrating for me. And I wish that I could change, but I don't really know. I don't have that leverage really right now, but
Yeah.
at some point I hope to
No,
change
facts,
that.
facts. No, it's definitely gonna happen. And like I said, we look at you. You know, you look at Stanford women basketball just won the national championship. Like three of their star players are from Colorado. We're out here, but I want to ask you. As a tight end,
Hmm.
do you have a favorite tight end that you study, or a couple favorite tight ends you study? Like who do you like to model your game after?
Um, so not a ton of people know about him. I mean, he did pretty good this year, but tight end for the Cowboys, Dalton Schultz. He's a baller. He's one of the most underrated tight ends in the league, and he's not some huge like jacked up guy, and I'm not some huge jacked up guy, and he's making plays, left and right, and he's not getting up and doing some crazy stuff. Like he's just handing the ball back and going back, to the huddle. So that's who I like to watch, and that's who I like to model my game after. Obviously, you like watching the Travis Kelce's and George Kittles and all that for the little things. But like holistically as a player, I like Dalton Schultz a lot.
Shout out to Dalton Schultz. What about? I'm gonna say this because it's facts. We put out some great tight ends. We put out some great tight ends. I
Yeah,
know you
no, we
remember.
do. Terrence Ferguson went out Oregon playing as a true freshman,
Yeah.
and he balled out. Like I watched some of their games, and he balled out. Like he's a good player.
Hmm.
Um, Eric Olson's at CU right now, isn't he?
Yep.
Pretty sure I think he had a little slower year, but he's a really good player.
Yeah.
We've had a couple. It's fun though to see like all the younger and older tight ends who are doing some things out there. Um, and it's always cool. I think that's one of the strongest positions that Colorado actually puts out.
Yeah. And talk to us about the importance of, or just the value of the tight end position.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, we have to do everything. We have to be in the run game. We have to be in the pass game. We have to, pull on some blocks. We have to run vertically down the seam. Um, and my coach has always said you got to be the second smartest player on the field besides the quarterback. Obviously, the quarterback's gonna be the smartest, but you got to be the second smartest as far as knowing. Like most people don't know, like in high school, you get your assignment and you do that, but you don't think about like the play, like what the design of the play is, and um, so like that was huge to learn. Was like, what's the purpose of this play? Where is it supposed to go? Is there supposed to be like a backdoor hit on it? Like, um, so that's kind of big as a tight end. I think if you have a good tight end in the run game and pass game, if they can do both, then you can hide a lot of things and you can be able to run a lot of plays off that.
Right. I wanna hear about your mental toughness. Just not only for you, but even as a player. You know, SEC football is no joke. Talk about that mental toughness when you're out there. You're not just running routes.
Yep.
People think it's all pretty boy running routes, whatever. You actually in the trenches blocking.
Yeah, I mean we're blocking 6'6", 280, first rounders. That's what I'm blocking every week in and week out. We have a defensive end on our team who's gonna go first round, not this year, but the year after. Like I'm blocking him every single day,
Mm-hmm.
and that's tough. I mean, you get your ass kicked sometimes,
Yeah.
and they you don't realize like you got to move that dude.
Yeah.
You don't just
What's
win
his
by getting
name?
in front of him. Ali Gay.
How has he made you better?
Yeah, I mean he pushes me every day. We a lot of people don't know, but as tight ends we do one-on-ones, not just against linebackers and safeties. We do one-on-ones against DNs.
Yeah.
Like we're just right here, just going at it. And he pushed me every day. He'll say something to me, I'll say something back. But he's one of the best players like that I've been on the field with, and it's fun to watch him, and it's fun to watch how he's made me a better player.
Man, that's what you got to do. You got to come, you got to compete, and you got to get better.
Yeah,
Each day, going back to what your pop said,
yeah,
what you do today to get better. And what does it look like to be an asset in this game?
yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know. I mean, people do know obviously, but we're kind of LSU football is like the face of Louisiana. Everywhere you go, people are saying something to you. People are asking you, "How's the team going to be next year?" And if you aren't doing things right outside of the football world, then like you're not doing things right at all. We gotta be in class. We gotta be attentive in class. If we go to class and just sit on our phones the whole time, that's a bad look on us. They're like, oh, there's football players. I'm sure someone's doing their homework for them. Like things like that. It's you got to go to class. You got to be sitting in the front row. You got to pay attention. You got to be respectful. That's one of the biggest things. Is just being respectful. If you show respect towards your teachers, they're gonna help you out. They'll show respect back towards you. You missed a due day, they'll push it back a little for you if you need. Um, but you got to show them the respect, and you got to show them that you're putting in the effort. That's one of the biggest things is just putting in the effort. You got to go to class and you got to talk to them. You can't just skip out on class and think that you're better than class because school is just as important as your football is. I mean, you can't play football forever, but you can take your degree forever. You'll have that piece of paper forever.
Facts, facts. What's one piece of advice you give to the youngins out there who say, I want to play college. I want to play college sports. It doesn't even have to be football. Just to the youngins out there who, going to be watching this. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean, just um, put your head down and work. You ain't gotta be the flashy guy. I was never the flashy guy. You got to be the guy that posts every little workout on Twitter and Instagram. Um, you ain't got to post, be telling your friends, "Oh, I did this, I did that." Just go do it. Like you just got to go do it and go take it. You got to be good in school. A lot of people aren't being able to go D1 just because of their grades. So you got to stay focused on school. And one of the things that people don't realize is when schools are coming in and recruiting you, they're gonna talk to everyone. Like when I had a couple coaches come in to my school, they talked to everyone. They talked to my teachers. They talked to the janitors. They talked to counselors. So just kind of like leave an impact on your school. You don't got to just you know be yourself. You gotta go out and help the community and do things right. Like the more things you do right, the better it looks on you, and the more people that want you around.
Facts. Facts. Who I got two more questions.
Yeah.
So who are I know you got a lot, but if you could just narrow it down, your coaches at LSU, through your time there, give me two coaches that really impacted you.
Yeah. You know, we have a coach who comes by and just talks to us every day. He's not necessarily like a position coach, but he talks to everyone. His name's Eddie Kinnison, and he's kind of like our relations guy, and he'll sit down and talk to you about whatever. Um, and that's really important to me because you're around this football and you're around academics 24/7. Some people just don't get asked like, "How are you doing today?" And that's kind of who he is, and he makes sure you're all right, and that's really important to me, and I've appreciated him a lot. And then the other one would probably be probably just strength staff. Strength staff is huge. You don't realize how much time you're gonna spend with them. Like I see them every single day, and when I first came in, I'll be honest, I hated the strength staff because they were just on you about little things, and then one day, like I just kind of realized like these guys are just trying to get me better. Like these guys, that's their whole job is to get me better, and like they're not doing it because they hate me, like they're doing it because they want to see me succeed, and that those guys have had a huge impact on me and a huge impact on my play, and they've helped me become the player that I am.
Facts, man. Facts. I love it. Last question.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a Tiger?
It's huge, man. I mean, it's who you are now. Like I will forever and always be, an LSU Tiger, and I take that with pride. The people who have played before me, they're watching everything I do and watching everything, that the LSU Tigers do. So that's, you kind of just don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to disappoint your family. It's because that standard of being a Tiger is so high. So, you come in every day and you go to work and you do everything right just because you want to meet that standard. And I think that's kind of what it is, just meeting that standard of excellence and, excellence within the classroom, excellence, within the community, and excellence, on the field. So that's kind of what it means to me. And it's kind of like, what I live by.
I have to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the importance of character, because you something happened and I watched how you reacted to it, and it really spoke a lot about who you are, and how unselfish you are. Playing Florida, your shoe was taken.
Yep.
Chucked down the field.
Yeah.
You could have flashed out.
I very easily could have, yeah.
Whatever, next play.
Yeah. No, that's always been my mindset, is next play, whatever he just did, I don't care about what he did. That's my mindset growing up. I don't care what they did, unless it's directly affecting me, I'm gonna just do me. So, he pulled my shoe off or whatever, threw it down the field. If I react to that in a negative way and I get a flag, then they offset, we're punting the ball. So that's kind of my mindset, is like, why feed into that? And character is everything. There were a lot of people watching that game, and if I backlash, and that's just a bad look on me, and that's a bad look on my family. And everyone sees that Taylor on the back, and that's kind of what people don't realize, is your name's on the back of your jersey. Like, everyone knows who you are, and they're watching every little thing you do.
Man. Cole, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I'm definitely proud of you, what you've done and what you continue to do. Keep working, keep grinding, just keep getting better each day.
Appreciate it.
And we thank you for coming on the show,
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Cagebreakers.
They're so proud of me, so proud of me. They're so proud of me.